So yeah guys, B Randon here. It's Friday again. So it means I'm not at work and I'm going fishing. Hopefully you guys aren't working today. Hopefully you guys are having a good one. So some of you guys may or may not have noticed, but lately when I've been soaking bait, I've been using salted squid. I salt this squid on my own, and there's a few reasons why I do that. I had a viewer ask me a question about it. Thought I'd make a little video showing you how I make it and why I do it. So here it is, man. Here's a video. I'm about to show you guys how I make my salted squid and why I do that. So now we got our squid, we're going to want to thaw it out. So you can either take it out for a day fishing and let it thaw out while you're out there fishing. Today, I'm just going to dump it out in the sink. Let it thaw out in there. I could run some water on it, but I don't want to rinse away any like scent or any smell off of it. So I'm just going to let it sit there for a while. I'll break it up and let it thaw out. Alright, so now these guys are all thawed out. I'm just going to start off by, I like to use the heads a lot just by themselves, so I'm just going to start off by ripping the heads off all of them, and we'll dry those out on their own and do it like that. That's a big dog there. Look at that sucker. I'd say these big old tentacles on this big one will make good bait. Alright, so we got bodies and heads right there. So here's the container I usually salt my stuff in. It could be a little bigger, but it's not. It's the container I've got. I've got some holes poked in the bottom here. That's to let liquid drain out of it as the salt's pulling liquid out of the squid. You know what I mean? So this is salt I've been using for the squid. I get it at the Dollar Tree. It costs $1. I'm sure I could go get a big bag of it somewhere for cheaper than what I pay at the Dollar Tree, but whatever, not too worried about it. I don't use too much of it, you know what I mean? I use the kosher salt instead of like regular iodized salt because I've heard the iodine, the fish don't like it. Is that true? I really have no idea. But so I'll start this off here. Throw a little bed of fresh salt down on the bottom. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to do something I haven't done with my squid yet before. I'm going to try it out and see how it turns out. I'm just going to take the bodies and I'm going to cut them open and kind of lay them out, you know what I mean? And the reason I'm doing that is just to have more surface area of it exposed to the salt. I've been doing them whole like this and they stay a little mushy, but they still work. But I'm going to try this out and see how that works out. Gonna come through, just split the tube, and that way when it dries out I should have a nice like kind of flat little slab kind of thing there that I can do whatever I want with, you know what I mean? Alright, so we got those guys all cut up so they're nice and flat. I'm just gonna leave all this stuff on the inside, because why not? It's all bait, right? And so I'm showing this you guys, and keep in mind this is like my third time doing this, so like I'm not an expert at it. This is just the way I do it, and you know, my method will probably change as I keep doing it. If you guys salt your baits and you guys have any suggestions, something I'm doing wrong, something I could be doing better, please let me know in the comments, because that would be awesome and I would appreciate it. So yeah, we're just gonna lay this stuff down here in the salt. Lay them down there so they're not touching each other. I mean, they can touch a little bit, but you don't want them like overlapping each other or anything, because then you won't get them contacting the salt as well, you know what I mean? And I'm just gonna throw some on top of there. Cover those guys up with a decent layer of salt. Doesn't have to be crazy thick, but just get them good and covered so there's a little bit of salt separating them from the next layer, you know what I mean? And then bloop, bloop, bloop. Just keep doing it like that. Alright, so this salt I'm adding now here is salt that I've already used, because I don't have that much salt left, and because I don't really see a reason to not use it. It's not as dry as it could be, but you know, it's still salty. It still does what salt does. There's that big old slab from that big squid there. Throw the heads on top of that. Keep that guy. Now if you do this, you'll notice that the stuff on the top layers will dry a little quicker than the stuff on the bottom. And that's just because it's it's up by the top, it's exposed to a little more air, and then the moisture goes downward. So the stuff on the bottom is not going to dry as fast. But at some point throughout this process, I'll kind of mix things up and put the drier ones towards the bottom and the more moist ones towards the top, you know what I mean? Just kind of even things out. And you know, depending on the humidity, like I'm here in Humboldt County, it rains quite a bit, so if it's raining out and your humidity is kind of high, this stuff's going to take a while to dry out. But as long as it's covered up with the salt and stuff, it doesn't seem to get too funky. It just doesn't dry, you know what I mean? But it still seems to work. I probably could have separated these guys with a little thicker layer of salt this time, but I didn't. And like I said, I'll come through here in the next few days and I'll mix it up and, you know, see how everything's progressing. We'll throw that big old squid head on top there. Alright, so now we got the squid in there. Underneath a big pile of salt. We'll separate it out to an extent. And I don't know if you're wondering, but where does the liquid dribble to out of the holes? Well, I've got this other container here. Just throw this jar in there so that way it doesn't sit right up against the bottom. There's a little bit of space to collect liquid. And I just throw it in there like that. I'm gonna find a shelf to put that on, and gonna forget about it for about a week or two. I'll probably check it in a few days, see how it is, see if I need to mix things up or anything like that. But yeah, that's about it for now. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Right, so this stuff's been sitting on a shelf for 3 weeks now. And if you look down here, we got a whole bunch of nasty liquid that dribbled out of the bottom there. Dump that stuff out. And let's see how it's looking. So normally, like I said before, the stuff on the top's usually a little drier than the stuff down below. But look at that. That's a nice looking squid head there. So yeah, that one there is pretty good, pretty dry. Let's keep digging for treasure. See, as you start going down a little ways, even pretty close to the top still. See, that one's not that dry. Not too bad. Yeah, so even after 3 weeks with it sitting in there, it's not all completely dry. That one close to the top was good and dry, but it's not rotten, it's not stinky, so that's cool. Let's see how these guys came out. So a nice little slab of squid. You can cut it into different strips or different shapes, whatever you wanted to do with that. And like I said, this stuff could be a little drier. I can mix it up and get some air down in there, and but it's keeping. It's not all stinky. It's been 3 weeks in there, so like I really wish it was all as dry as this one on the top that was up here at the top, but you know, what are you gonna do? I think that's good enough for me. I'll probably take some of this out and put it in the container that I use for my finished bait, and then I'll put the rest of it back in here to just sit for a while longer. But yeah, usually once that's done, I'll throw it in this container here. This is just the container I keep my finished bait in. Some of this stuff's been sitting in here for quite a while, but you know, that's what it looks like a little bit after it's been sitting for a while. You know, it kind of looks like that. So and then in this container, I also like to add some of this. I don't know what's the best way to hold that. I like to add some of that. It's a bait mate fish attractant, bass scent or bass attractant. It says it's made with natural fish oils and fish pheromones and anise oil. And I usually just take some of that, not too much of it. Take some of it and squirt it down there in the salt, just for a little extra scent, you know what I mean? That, and I don't really use this for anything else. I got it for $3 like on clearance at Walmart or something. And I've never really been one to put stuff like that on my bait, so figure might as well use it for this, right? Then I'll do that. Put it in there and shake it up good to kind of get that scent dispersed around in that salt. And then I'll take the stuff I want to take out with me, and I'll throw it down in the new container, you know. And that stuff pretty much stays with me in my car, so if I ever have the urge to go fishing, I've got my bait with me already. So And, you know, that's what I'll take out there with me when I go fishing, and I'll just store that bait in there. It's pretty much finished bait storage container. I said it before and I'm gonna say it again. This stuff could still be a little drier, so I'm gonna take a little bit of this stuff and put it in this container here. You know, I usually just throw it in there, and same thing, just shake it up real good, make sure it's nice and coated with salt. And the stuff keeps pretty good in that container. I mean, like I said, this stuff's pretty old. You can tell it's not as fresh as it was, but I mean, it still works for bait. Now, would I say this works any better or worse than fresh or frozen squid? I don't know. I don't think I've noticed a huge difference, you know what I mean? This way I just save quite a bit of money on my bait because I throw a lot less of it away. It keeps a lot longer, you know what I mean? Before I would get, you know, a couple trips out of a container of squid, and, you know, you thaw it out and refreeze it, and then, yeah, that's about it. That's how I do my salted squid. I don't know how exactly I'm going to be editing this, but I'll talk to you about why I like it somewhere else. Alright, so I shuffled things around in that container and let her sit for about another week or so, and that's a little more what I'm looking for. Nice and dried out. Not like crazy dried out and shriveled up, but, you know, pretty dry. Good to go. So we're going to run down to the bay and we're going to try it out and talk about it a little bit.
There we go. And you hit that one just sitting out there. I didn't even get a chance to start reeling it back in. It just got to the bottom. And that one took the squeeze, little brownie. Little brownski. Little brownie. Little cute pie. Thanks, buddy. Little guys today. Little guys today. Those guys are better than nothing though, man. Much rather catch those all day than sit down here and scratching my butt. Getting bites already. I'm biting my squid out there, I guess. Little guy. Little guy. Another little brownski. Little guys, dude. Like little babies today. Little baby dinks. Baby dinks. These are dinky dinkers, man. Little dinky dinks. Get big, bud. Go out there and get big, or get eaten. So there's a few reasons I like using that salted squid, or decided to start salting my squid. I got the idea from another YouTuber. His channel is Senko Skipper. I guess I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description probably. Yeah, he makes his own salted squid. He sells it on the internet, I believe. And yeah, it seemed like a pretty good idea, you know what I mean? And the main reason I do it is because it saves me money on bait. I don't throw out bait when it gets funky, you know what I mean? I was throwing out a lot of bait. Sometimes I'll go buy bait and then I'll spend the whole day out fishing and not really use any of it. And, you know, after a couple fishing trips of thawing out and refreezing, you know, squid don't stay that good, you know what I mean? And another reason I started doing it is, or another benefit to it is, it's not as messy as the squid is when it's in the little container. I'm sure you guys have noticed once it thaws out, it pretty much leaks like black liquid all the time after that. So, and with the salted squid, you get it on your fingers, brush it off on your pants or on a rag or whatever, and it comes off pretty good. Comes off pretty easy. Doesn't leave a bunch of stinky smell on your hands or anything like that. So it's pretty cool. And probably the third reason I'm doing it is because it kind of gives me the ability to customize my bait a little bit. You know, I add that scent to it and stuff like that. Thinking about trying to maybe dye it different colors and see if that is effective or anything like that. So yeah, the bait keeps pretty well. And, you know, after some time it'll get a little funky, but still seems to work pretty good for bait. So I think I'm gonna keep doing it. I don't really know like what else to say about it. Stick your squid in some salt, let her sit, and you got bait that keeps for a while. And, you know, I like my squid when it gets pretty dried out, but you know, if you've got it sitting in the salt and it's not completely dried out or not where you want it to, I mean, it's still usable bait. Like, it's still, you know, it doesn't need to sit there for a month before you can use it. You can use it whenever. But yeah, I did pretty good last week on it and caught a few sharks on it last week. That was cool. Yeah, do I think the salted squid works better than regular squid? Probably not better. Comparable? Definitely comparable, but who knows, man? It's tough to say. Sometimes the bite's hot, sometimes it's not. I think if the bite was good, I don't think my salted squid would do any better than regular old squid, you know? But it keeps longer this way. It's less messy. I don't got to keep it in the freezer or anything. Beneficial overall. Fishery fishing today. There we go. Looks like we're getting into the little guys. Bunch of blackies out there. Bunch of blackies. Cool, man. Holy crap, you guys. Look at that little tiny... I feel bad because I snagged him. I don't even know what it is. Some sort of little fish. I'm not sure what that is. Because I don't know what it is, I'm not gonna just leave it on there for bait. Pretty sure it ain't gonna survive out there. But no, that was just on my hook. I guess I snagged him off of a rock. That was weird. Like, I'm used to getting dinks down there, but those are ridiculous dinks. There we go. Another little guy. Little guys are on it today, though. Already caught way more than I did over behind target today. There's a little helicopter. Little baby blackie. Little baby blackie. So tiny, man. Go grow up. Tell your grandpa I'm up here with food for you guys. It's fake. So yeah, I think that's about it on the salted squid. I showed you guys how I do it. Told you guys why I do it. And you know, if you guys have a better way or any suggestions or anything that you do to make your bait special, let me know down in the comments, man. I'd like to hear it, and would like to try out different things, you know what I mean? So thanks for watching, you guys. Good luck, best fishes out there, and you guys have a good one.